Hi everyone. Okay, so this is Ziki here, and I hope you're all doing very well. We're continuing with our talk on China and Africa. Okay, so I found this interesting report here, which is saying that Ghana and China are launching a direct flight. Okay, they're launching a direct, which I feel like is very, very interesting in the sense that Africans have been having a lot of problems when it comes to airlines that are direct. Mainly, people have to rely on Emirates, which takes them one point, it stops and goes to another point, all that inconveniencing, okay? But now they say, well, they want to launch a direct flight from Accra, Ghana to Guangzhou in China. Now, as you know that I've already spoken about Guangzhou. Guangzhou is the business, center. Anyone who does business, they usually go to Guangzhou because number one, it has all the companies, all the goods that people need. It also has a port. So that is why it's mainly for business because that's where the port where the goods are shipped from. Okay, so they said, well, this is why they decided on this particular route of Accra, Ghana to Guangzhou, China. Okay, so I was reading this report where the ambassador of Ghana was talking of why they decided on this route and also talking about the trade between Ghana and China having increased over the past years from 7 billion US dollars to around 10 billion US dollars in the last 3 to 4 years. So it's going higher. So they say, well, the only challenge here is about airlines, the movement of people from one point to the other, right? So I'm going to read some of the things that he said here. He was saying it was uh, Ghana was relying on only one flight, and they say it was Turkey. Okay, they say even that came with all its challenges. Currently, most people use Ethiopian Airlines, which is about 2 flights a day. You may find out that more than 50% of those on such flights, they end up in China. Emirates also has daily flights, and you'll find that many of them end up again in different cities of China. Okay, so the question I ask myself is, why can't we have a direct flight between China and Ghana? Okay, and they said, well, in a world of digitalization today, and with China leading the way, I think the vision that we have, the current vice president of Ghana leading the effort of pushing this agenda of significantly improving the Ghana-China cooperation, I believe strongly that Ghana has a lot to do with the China going into the future. Okay, you also spoke that the products that we take out there must be competitive, and we can then leverage on the technology over there in terms of agriculture machinery and the health sector. As we are talking about digitalization, that is center, and China is one of the leading ones in all of these areas that Ghana needs to strengthen its ties on. So they're saying now, because of that, flights are very, very important, to facilitate the movement of people from, Ghana to China, or from China to Ghana without facing all this kind of problem. They say today we are talking about African continental free trade area with the secretariat in Ghana. China has a great interest to help develop this because a strong continental free trade area will also boost Ghana-China-African relations. And so it is very important that if we have link up and have a direct flight from China and Ghana, it's going to be an airline that is serving West Africa, maybe even go further all the way to Cameroon with direct flight. Okay, they say, and we know in business, time is money. Instead of going through transit times, sometimes ranging between 20 to 24 hours, you're going to look at one direct flight that brings you 15 to 16 hours, saving a lot of time between 6 to 8 hours, okay, in the whole trip, which is very, very significant, okay? So the ambassador also went on to talk about, other aspects of China-Ghana relationships there. And they say, well, I think it is very important for us to have this direct flight. And we are praying that God will help us to get the right airline as we have the likes of China Southern in mind, who has also indicated interest in looking at the feasibility. Discussions are far advanced with all relevant agencies, and at the end of the day, it is in the interest of Ghana that we can link up in China in terms of commerce, etc. And our businesses must consider this significant step. Okay, I am happy to say that China supported Ghana to get the loan from the IMF in both instances, because without China, it may not have been possible to get the loan, as the Ghana nation worked hard in creating the necessary environment for this to happen well. Therefore, it is my hope that Ghanaian businesses will recognize all the efforts being made by Ghana government to strengthen that this all important interest and cooperation between Ghana and China, and take advantage of this Chinese business climate to legitimate businesses and grow their enterprises. Okay. So in this particular video, they're talking about, launching a direct flight, like I said in the beginning of the video, from Accra, Ghana to China, Guangzhou, which is, the business center in China. And also Ghana has got a consulate general there in Guangzhou. Okay, so that is why they chose that one. And they say, well, right now they're currently looking for the companies, the flight companies that they can work with. However, they are looking particularly at getting flight, maybe working with Chinese airlines, like the one they mentioned, the Southern China Airlines, okay? Maybe they can get a flight from there that is going to be flying direct from Guangzhou to Ghana. I think it's quite an interesting thing. We're going to be following up to see how it goes, because, it's really a headache if you want to travel from China to Africa. You have to rely on Ethiopian Airlines all the time. Like, when you rely on only one flight, the prices as well, they also become a little bit higher. So if you have a little bit of competition, it becomes, better. There was a time I traveled from, I think it was in 2016, I traveled from China to South Africa. And the inconvenience that I faced was just super crazy. I took a flight from China to Hong Kong. And then there was a direct flight, South African Airlines, from Hong Kong direct to South Africa. But when we got to Hong Kong, the flight, they said that the South African airline had a problem with the tire. Okay, so the plane doesn't have a tire, so they had to wait for the tire to be brought from South Africa to go to Hong Kong for the repair, to be changed. And then for us, so we ended up being given hotel rooms. It was in 2016. We ended up being given hotel rooms in Hong Kong. We slept in Hong Kong. Everybody was given a hotel room. We spent some time in Hong Kong the whole night and waited until they told us, well, the flight was ready, and then we had to go back to be shuttled back to the to the airport, and then to board our flight. And there was a lot of delays and everything. So if there are other flights that I do, people can easily switch from one. And also that it was so full, it was full. Some people also still take South African Airlines, go to Johannesburg, and then connect to their countries as well. The inconvenience. So, but if there are many flights, like you will know that, well, those are going maybe to Southern Africa, they have to take this one. Those are going to West Africa, they also have a line like that. So many flights are really welcome. Okay, they're really welcome. So yeah, so this is the report that I have for you, where Ghana is looking at getting a flight to Ghana from China. Okay, in order to facilitate the movement of people and also to boost the businesses. Okay, so let me just check on something here. Let me just check on something a little bit. Let's see how it is here. I'm going to be coming back with more stories, so you don't have to go anywhere. Okay. Yes, so yeah, they are talking to China Southern Airlines. Okay, China Southern Airlines are the ones that they're talking to, that they are planning on launching with. Okay, China Southern Airlines. So yeah, this is the one that Ghana is in talks with, and they're saying the talks are now in an advanced stage. They're almost done with the deal, and they're going to take on with this one so that they can boost the aviation sector, for them to have the direct flight from Ghana to China. Guangzhou. I've spoken about Guangzhou. You have to watch that video. I did a very nice video about Guangzhou, the electronic markets that I went to, the other tourist destinations, and some other things about Guangzhou. Remember, Guangzhou is where most shipping is done. Most warehouses are in Guangzhou. Most containers they're shipped from Guangzhou. So that is why Guangzhou is a very, very significant city. in China in terms of Africa-China businesses. And this is also where you find a lot of West Africans, a lot of Africans are who are into businesses, because they have also found in Guangzhou. So this is all I have for you, and until I come back again, please hold on, because just right now I do have another story that I'm going to be sharing with you. Until then,